Good YouTubing, everybody. Thanks for stopping by and checking out this review. And as always, we'd like to thank our viewers and our subscribers, because without you, we're not us. So let's take a look at Marvel Legends series Giant-Sized X-Men Banshee by Hasbro. So what we're seeing here is the figure from supposedly the 1975s. That's what I see on the package, saying it's the #1 comic, of course. But look at him right now, he's looking great. Let me know something in the comments. Will you be picking him up or not? Let us know. So right now, let's go ahead and roll him off the stand and let's get started. Okay, for the packaging, this is that basic Marvel Legends series packaging / Hasbro. They do put it in this cardboard in the back, and then you have the accessories in the action figure inside the bubble. This is what I call the one and done, because you can't do nothing with it when you open it. Plus, it's not that easy to open. You'll have to either break the bubble or break open the cardboard. But you see the figure there with Giant-Sized X-Men. You also see the Marvel Legends series with the Marvel Legends series 1995 #1 comic there, in there. And you can see that Marvel's Bench is on the bottom right. And if you flip it over to the back side, in this series, the Marvel Legends series, in this wave, you see you get 6 other characters, right? And you also have some artwork there with the Giant X-Men comic kind of blown up just a little bit. But you can pause that and read that yourself. But that'll do it for the packaging. Okay, so let's give them a measure. We'll start with the inches. On the inches, he'll be right at 6.5 inches. And on the centimeter side, he'll be right under 16 centimeters. That's where he's at, and that's where he's standing. Okay, so let's scale him up. We'll go ahead and throw the big guy in there. We all love him. Here he is. Okay. Juggernaut is there. And let's go ahead and toss in Beast. Cyclops. There he is. And we'll tap in Rogue. Okay. So the scale of the figures look pretty decent. I think you always can't miss it with Juggernaut, especially on this scale here. But everything looks good to me. I hope you guys think it does too. There you have it. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at the accessories. As you can see, you'll get an extra head sculpt, 1 pair of extra hands, and a single hand. I don't know why you get a single hand, but you get a single hand. And of course, the miniature Giant X-Men comic book, right? You got that. Okay, so looking at the figure, you see him in his wingspan. Of course, he has those flaps where he manipulates the wind, manipulates movement. That way he can go the way he wants when he's using his powers, right? So let's take a look at his punch hands first and his flaps. Okay, also the facial sculpt too as well. I almost forgot that. So looking at the face sculpt, it's just like we saw earlier, right? We've seen this before. We just saw in the appearance. There it is. Nothing has changed. Just give me a close-up real quick since we're starting on the accessories. We got this, right? Orange, great eyes, great facial features, great sideburns. There we go. Okay, and here's our fist. Let me take a little lighting off that just to get the fist so we can see it a little bit better. See it? There we go. There we go. That's not bad. It's just pretty basic. Nothing really wow about it. It's just a fist, right? Same here. Just a fist. Okay, we got it. Not bad. All right. So, and here's his flaps. Of course, how he manipulates the wind. There you have it. That's not a bad job on that. That looks quite well. But I do not like how it's sticking on. Real cheesy. Look at the parts. Really cheesy how they did that. Look at the back. That's really cheesy. Plus, I would like to see the color of the flaps be the same on the back. I mean, it still looks like what he does, but it's a little better than that, right? Come on, Hasbro. But there you have it. There you have it. Set them down, and we'll look at the rest of the accessories. We'll start with the other head sculpt. The one I'm a fan of, because there's more facial features in there. He's ready to go. There you have it. You see the eyes there. I'm gonna get close. That's close. There we go. You see it. Great paint. Eyebrows, face structures, the teeth and the mouth. You got the tongue coming out. That is a great job. Maybe some stuff in the back, but you can see that very closely, and that looks good. Looking at the side, well, no sideburns, the regular hair with the ears, right? Okay, there you go. Cut his hair a little bit. Okay, that's not bad. You got your mold painted orange. There you have it. Great job on that. The eye paint, not bad, right? Not bad. Okay, peg system, ball and socket. There you go. All right, so let's look at the pairs of hands. We'll go with one here. There we are. That's what you got. Kind of open, more of a claw look. Nothing to it. One solid plastic of yellow. Cuts are okay. Latch system. Palms. There you go. Next hand is actually something he can hold a weapon. If he had a weapon, he could hold something. I know he can hold the comic book, but here you go. That's a weapon hand for sure. Be nice if he had something, right? There you go. Weapon hand. Or, okay, let's take a look at the extra hand for no reason. And that's a trigger finger hand. So if you do have accessories, this trigger finger hand could come into play. Anything. There you go. This is the extra one out of one pair, but just an extra hand you get, right? There you go. Latch. Okay. And let's look at the giant size comic book. It's miniature. Here it is. There's your giant size comic book. You have, what does that say there? 68 big pages. 68 big pages. 50 cents, right? There you go. That looks pretty cool. And there's the back. Marvel Legends series. You see these staples for the paperback. Pretty nice, right? Looks like papers there. Pretty cool. Not bad. Okay. And that'll do it for the accessories. Okay, so let's take a look at the appearance. So in the box, it says 1975. I'm not sure if this one's the 1975. I looked up a couple photos. I'm gonna throw some up here. That way you can get some visuals of how he looks. But if you're taking a look at him now, this is what they gave us. Sometimes he has the X-Men logo on his belt. It doesn't look like anything else is different besides the X-Men logo that he does have in some of the comics. But this is him here. So let's take a look at him. You know he has the red hair. That is correct on all platforms. He is a red-haired guy. You can see that. Let's put some lighting to his eyes there. That way you can see his eyes. Got it? There we go. And he does have the sideburns, and I've seen some without the sideburns, but they do look good. You see the ears sticking out. Nice mold there, sculpting. And the eyes, we said earlier, you see the red eyebrows, right? Not bad. Facial features are good. And you look on the side, the exact same on the other. Sculpted well. Ears coming out the sculpt. Painted up, and you got your red hair and sideburns, right? Pretty cool. So nicely proportioned on the face. Looks great. He does have that flared collar, you see. Does have that. You always see have that little yellow going down the middle there into a point. Right to his abs. And then he's got the muscles that we all seen many times before with these figures, right? Probably reach same buck, just a different paint job to make a different character. Okay, and you're seeing the yellow gauntlets. The plastic is here, and you have plastic there, and then the paint to make the gauntlet extend over the green paint there, right? Got it? Not too bad. Okay, his legs, all green, sculpted, and then the boots are the same thing as well. You see them there, all plastic, and then you will have the paint to give it that boot point, right? Don't know why they couldn't do it with PVC plastic. Maybe in a rush. There we have it. Okay, backside, you do have the angle going down to the middle of his back, same as he does in the front. And the rest of the figure is muscular and green, right? And the boots. So not a lot to the figure. Does look good, proportion. We do like these. We have to put them out here. There you go. There's Banshee. Okay, this is going to be your ribbon-like soft goods. Okay, be careful with this because I'm pretty sure once this rips, have fun putting it back together. Be nice if this was the same side. You're looking at the ribbon here. This should be the same on both sides to make it look a little better than this cheesy look here, right? But this is what we have, and this is what we got. That'll do it for the appearance. Okay, so let's step into it. The POA, the points of articulation. The figure we're looking at is basic Marvel Legends, right? We see a lot of figures with this mold, these bucks. It's nothing new to us. So the articulation is gonna be what we normally see 90% of the time with these figures, right? So let's go ahead and talk about the head. We know it's interchangeable. You have the ball and socket and the latch, okay? So your latches for great when you're trying to fly, of course. So that's needed. Looking down when you're flying, that's always good, you know? So that's always great there. Okay, so head movements are great. You know it's gonna be all around. There's no way to have any limitations on that with the ball and socket, right? You can lift the latch up some and do what you need to do with tilts as well. So we're great on that. Looking at the arms though, you might have limitations just depending on where you're gonna put stress on the flaps. That might be limited, but the way that Marvel Legends does in Hasbro, there you go. You have your latch. That's gonna be able to latch up. And of course, you can be able to rotate it, right? Okay, you see the cut. We know what a cut does here. That's a bicep swivel. And then you have your double jointed arms. There they are, retracting all the way in. That's great, right? And of course, the hands are interchangeable. They do rotate and they are on latches of their own. Yes, latches of their own, right? That's the same on both sides. And then you have the crunch system in the middle of the body in that square cutout where the figure can crunch and bend out. Very basic, right? You do have rotations below the waist. When you see the cut, you can rotate, right? Very smooth. Okay, we're looking at the dumbbell joints there, right? Dumbbell joints. Okay, and also we have that infamous thigh swivel there. Great. And also we have movements on top of the calf. Well, in the middle of the calf there, you do have rotations, which is pretty nice. Also, you have the feet that sit on rockers and they have latches of their own. So the articulation is pretty basic, stuff that we already knew. And if you didn't, now you know. And that'll do it for the articulation. Okay, for the pros and cons. My cons are, he doesn't have his sonic effect coming out of his mouth. Have something just like you see in the comics. What do you see in the comics? Him in his suit and that sonic effect coming out of his mouth. That'd have been nice to have that. It would have been spot on. I do have a problem with that. My pros is I do like the way the figure looks. Looks very well. The sculpting is good. The head sculpts are great. The extra pair of hands, the one hand, and the miniature comic book. Everything's great. I do like the figure. Just that one thing. But guys, let me know what your stars are, because I'm gonna have to give it a 3 out of 5 stars. Guys, let me know what your stars are. And you guessed it, you could get it at HASBROPulse.com. Just check out HASBROPulse.com. So what are you waiting for? Check them out. And this brings us to the end of our video. If you found the video informational or you just simply enjoyed watching, please hit the like, comment, share, and subscribe button. And as always, this has been another toy review. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.